Well, vanity plates are a big business for the state of Utah. They can also be a big headache, too. A vanity plate can set you right apart from everybody else.
The problem? Utahns can be very creative, sometimes a little too creative when coming up with a specialized plate.
Heidi Atch has been looking into the do's and don'ts when it comes to vanity plates, and every now and then one sneaks through, doesn't it?
One or two or three or maybe more than that. So, Mark, vanity plates, like you mentioned, they really can be fun, but they can be vulgar, they can be naughty, they can be all sorts of things. There are only 4 people in the state of Utah that oversee this, and they try to crack the codes of what you're sending into them. But it's not an easy job to figure out which ones are a go and which ones are a heck no.
Yes, ma'am.
This 90s episode of Seinfeld has inspired many to give this plate a go in Utah.
I like to tell the SS Man story.
Charlie Roberts has seen a lot of vanity plates in his time at the DMV.
Some of them were like, whoa, this isn't going to fly.
And then there are the sneaky ones, Utahns who apply for naughty vanity plates and almost get them.
We got one for SS Man, and on his application he said, I'm from South Summit High School, I love the school.
The request sounded reasonable until a state employee realized something was wrong.
And literally we had the envelope ready to stuff, and somebody says, whoa! But it was a collegiate plate and from Utah State, which is a great big A for Aggies.
The giant A next to SS Man finally made sense.
Proctology.
While that may fly in New York, it was a no-go in Utah. Sometimes the vanity plate can work for you. If you're a dentist, Smile would get the go-ahead. Sold if you're a realtor. There is, however, a whole lot of gray area.
This could have started out poker face, but my guess is it looked like something else.
Professional poker player, maybe, but if you think long and hard, you may see the error.
I still don't get it.
Pecker face.
And that's why this plate never made it on the bumper of a car. Astronaut, cool job, but if your favorite planet is Uranus,
probably wouldn't make it.
Fishermen in Utah love their hobby, but you can kiss some of those plate ideas goodbye.
We get a lot of requests for hook, hooker, all that. They out the door.
The state knows this hook could also mean this hook. There are, in fact, 7 deadly sins you should know about before dreaming up a new vanity plate.
Anything with 69 in it, anything with a sexual connotation, anything expressing violence, guns, gang language, those type of things.
In general, if it's not in good taste, it is probably against the law, especially vulgarity.
And then this is primarily the BS.
Derogatory plates, sexual acts, genitalia, and no contempt or even ridicule.
It might be hate LDS, hate you, hate BYU, hate whatever. They come off.
Gangs, violence, drugs, and alcohol.
Nothing with weed, Miller time, Coors, you know.
Yeah.
I miss Air Force One.
You may love George W., but go Bush, even in an election year, a no-go.
So I don't know if that refers to a genital area or not. I don't know.
The answer's really no.
You can appeal, but the state has the final say.
It's the state's license plate. When I say the state, the government's license plate.
The exact opposite of a bumper sticker where you can say just about anything you want.
And, you know, it may offend you, but free speech protects that.
The state, Robert says, is working to protect you from yourself. Many people submit abbreviations for something meaningful to them, but with text language changing by the day, some things may be fine today that are not okay tomorrow.
Some are fairly obvious. I mean, SOB, WTF, and that's out there, and people are familiar with that. Others, people just aren't aware of it.
And that's why when the state gets angry calls about a plate being denied, they may have to spell out what the problem is.
And usually, and we'll call and talk to these people, and almost always they say, I had no idea that's what that meant. Please forget it.
The state has a long list of rules, but that doesn't mean that you can't have fun.
Oh yeah, people have interesting senses of humor, so eat the kids first. That's pretty clever.
The state is cool with your creativity if you just remember, don't be dirty.
There's a very, very slim chance that we may not catch it, but your neighbor will, and we reserve the right to recall the plate at any time.
You have exactly 7 numbers or letters to choose from. If I were to have a vanity plate, again, I'd go for Heidi Ho. That was my nickname growing up. Heidi Oliver for the Ho part. Those were my initials, but The state doesn't care if those are my initials. Ho, they say, is never allowed. Back to the 69, they say there are a few exceptions. If you actually have a vehicle that was made in 1969, you can keep it, but those are the very few that can actually use it. And this is what's been denied. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. So Utahns, you are creative, but they say they're smarter than you, and they're waiting for you to send in your ideas. Good ones will be accepted. Mark, Shauna, what would you use if you had a vanity plate?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
I've never even thought
I'd have
about
to
it,
think
be
about
honest.
that, yeah. But
I want to be number one something. I don't know.
Yeah, and Sterling could be weatherman, like W-E-A-T-H-M-A-N.
Just take all the vowels out, and it works.
Yeah, never know.
I hate those when you're driving down the road, though, and you can't figure out what it is.
I'd hate to be the guy that didn't catch one, and the guy out there, and then you have to recall
Trouble.
it. So.
All right. Fun story, Heidi. Thank you.